Well, Corvid, you're just a big fat liar, aren't you? Everything you say is false because you're a liar, and everything you're going to say in future is got to be false because you are dishonest, you're a liar, and that means your side of the argument is thrown out the window, not based on the facts or the testimony that you present, but because you personally are not trustworthy, and therefore everything you present and will present in future must be factually disputable and wrong. Says every single Muslim or Roman Catholic I've ever debated. Now, what I want to talk to you about is why this is not a good strategy in a debate. Don't do that. When you have a debate with someone, you have to have a mutual understanding from that first minute that you're going to treat each other with an equal amount of respect. And what that means is, if you start losing the argument fairly based on your point not being valid or their point making your point invalid, at that point you have to concede. That's what a debate is. A debate is not a speech where you have a pre-prepared thing to say, and if they don't agree with it, you fight them. That's not a debate. A debate is a meeting of two viewpoints driving towards a common truth. When you find that common truth, if it's not what you were saying originally, you concede and you say, I will learn this truth. Then respect is conserved. If you're not willing to do that, then you haven't got respect for your opponent, and therefore you haven't got respect for the debate, and you cancel both sides of it. In fact, you throw shade on the entire proposition of each person's testimony. It makes everyone look bad, so don't do that. More than that though, it proves something about your point being invalid, because at the start of the conversation, it's not about who is honest and who is dishonest. Like I said, you have a mutual understanding that you're both honest people, and everything you say is said in good faith and in honesty. So if you have to default to saying, I've lost in terms of your argument, so I have to lower the weight of your entire argument by saying you are a liar, and therefore your argument is now lowered and mine is raised because I'm not a liar and you are, so yours is worth less than mine. If you have to break your argument down to simple weights, like that, by calling me a liar, that suggests that your argument is faulty. Because had your argument had enough legs to stand on its own merits, you would have just stuck to that. But you didn't. You didn't even stick to falsifying my argument. You couldn't do that either. So the only thing left for you to do was to say, Corvid's bad, he's a liar, I don't believe anything he says, neither should you. Now think about it. We started off the conversation on an equal, respectful footing where we both said we were going to take on each other's testimony in good faith as if it was truthful. That's how you have a debate. Also, in order to understand the testimonies we gave, we use the Holy Bible. Now, what is the Holy Bible if not a collection of personal testimonies which none of us have experienced? So therefore, if you're not willing to accept my testimony as a respectful part of this argument which we both agreed to have, you cannot use scripture to back up your own. Which means we're left with your personal experience and my personal experience, but you didn't have a personal experience. You were only speaking from doctrine and scripture. So if you throw out my honesty, in the interest of fairness, we also have to throw out yours. Otherwise, it's not a fair debate. And neither one of us can win. And you've completely destroyed the proposition of the argument. Not just me, both of us. And the argument gets thrown out and you've become a time waster. So, in conclusion, personal testimony, experience, stands alone. You don't need the person to prove their honesty when they're giving you a testimony. If you're in a debate and they're giving you a testimony, you have to take it on good faith. You can question it, but you cannot question the person's overall honesty. Otherwise, you lose, because the debate's destroyed. And further to that, scripture is the thing backing up both of your experiences. So if you can't take someone's testimony on good faith, you can't accept anything inside this book, and you don't have scripture either. And then the argument's lost. So, in conclusion, Maintain respect for your opponent at all times. It's the most important thing in a debate, is not to lower yourself to saying you're a liar. I'm going to cast aspersions and doubts on you, even though I've never met you before and I don't know you, because your argument is superior and is winning. So rather than try to either beat your argument with mine or concede like a decent debate candidate would and say you win, I'm going to throw doubt on you personally. Remember, when you do that, you're also throwing doubt on the entire Bible, because this is all eyewitness testimonies that you have not personally experienced and have no evidence for. So if we're throwing out testimony, we're throwing out scripture, what do we have? Nothing. And that's the end of this video. So I hope you keep that in mind in your debates, because people will try and wind you up and pull you down to the level of tit for tat, arguing who's more honest, me or you, when neither one of us have ever met and probably will never meet. You have to do these things in good faith, and if you do it in good faith, you can therefore use scripture, personal testimony, and logic as well, and the debate holds water and will be winnable and losable. Whereas if you don't do that, the complete proposition is dead in the water and neither one of you is ever going to win. So that should be avoided. And that's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. And anyway, looking back on previous videos, you know when you've won an argument, so you can just bow out and let people flame you and insult you and say what they're going to say. We all know who the real winner is. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a lovely evening. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.